Welcome to my channel. This is the deadliest room in the world. The old man checked into a cheap motel for the night. The room smelled strange, musty, and like chlorine, but he ignored it. He was far too tired to care. All he wanted to do was sleep. At 2 a.m., the knocking began. Soft at first, then louder. But when he opened the door, no one was there. Startled, the man looked around. Was it his imagination, or was that doorknob moving? He shook his head, trying to clear it. It must have been the wind. The knocking came again, this time followed by what sounded like footsteps. Heavy footsteps. Whatever was out there was now moving closer. What was out there? Some madman looking to bust down his door and end his life? A crazed woman with a meat cleaver? Perhaps an axe murderer just out of prison and looking for his next victim? He didn't want to find out. The man barricaded himself in the bathroom, turning off the lights and hiding under the sink. His breathing became shallow and quick. Every creak of the floorboards, every groan of the old building, every thud and thump sounded like screams in the dark. Then silence. Had whatever was out there given up? The man waited, listening intently. When he heard nothing for a full minute, he cautiously crept out from under the sink. The bathroom door was still firmly shut, but what was behind that door was no longer what he remembered. The floor was wet. The walls were wet. And when he turned on the light, he saw that the water was coming from above. From the ceiling. Water was pouring through the light fixture, dripping onto the floor. Somehow, overnight, the room had filled with so much water that it had begun to pool on the floor. But how? The window was shut tight. There was no breeze outside. In fact, it was one of those rare nights where not a single sound could be heard from outside. How could this have happened? And then he saw it. Something in the corner of the room. Something that made the hair on the back of his neck stand on end. There, in the far corner, was a small hole in the wall, barely big enough for a person to fit through. Through that hole, he could see a faint glow, as if someone or something was watching him from the other side. His heart pounded in his chest as he slowly made his way to the corner. He peered into the hole and gasped. On the other side, he could see the clearest of images, a pair of eyes staring back at him. Then, as quickly as they had appeared, they vanished. He felt something brush against his leg, and when he looked down, he saw a single wet footprint. It was only when he shone the flashlight under the bed that he saw more of them. Dozens of wet footprints leading into the darkness beneath. What had gotten into the room? Why? And most importantly, was it still there? He wanted to scream, to call for help, but no sound came out. His voice was stuck in his throat. With trembling hands, he reached under the bed, his fingers sinking into the cold, wet, slimy surface. Whatever it was, it had been here a long time. And then he felt it, something hard, like a rock, except it wasn't a rock. It was a bone. He pulled it out, his flashlight beam revealing its full horror. It was a human bone. He recoiled in disgust and fear, dropping the flashlight. It hit the floor, rolling away under the bed. In the darkness beneath the bed, something stirred. A low growl echoed in the room. Something large and wet slithered out from under the bed. Its eyes, glowing red in the darkness, fixed on him. "Help!" he screamed, scrambling back, but there was nowhere to go. The creature was blocking the door. It moved closer, its eyes boring into his. And then it spoke, its voice raspy and dripping. "You shouldn't have come here," it hissed. "This room is cursed. Anyone who enters it will never leave." The man's screams echoed through the room as the creature lunged. Its claws, long and sharp, extended, ripping and tearing at his clothes. The man cried out as the creature dragged him toward the hole in the wall. "Let me go," he begged, but the creature only snarled and pulled harder. With a final surge of strength, it dragged him through the hole and into the darkness. The room was silent once more, the only sound the dripping of water from the ceiling. In the corner, the doorknob slowly turned.